make this push and to see you all here, like I'm already getting emotional because I just love you, this community. So I'm glad we're all here today together to share the holiday, right? 420, hell yeah, let's get high.
What is up, everybody? We are going to go on a bike camping trip. First one of the season. I'm really excited. Everything is getting green outside. Going to be a little cold. We'll talk about that in a minute. First thing is I've been washing 3 of my bikes. The one I'm going to ride, my Gunner, which has just been a mess, and then my snow bike, my old Trek. Barely had to ride it this year, so I need to get I washed all 3 of these outside. Now I need to get them lubed up. Truck's gonna get, hung up on the wall and everything. I was going to stream tonight, but I am so busy with work, and then also this place is just kind of a disaster. From all the streaming and working on bikes and everything I've been doing, it's just, as you can see, everything is a mess. And I just want to get some bikes hung up. I want to get everything organized. You can see they just got stuff everywhere. There's cables everywhere. There's, doing the different streams. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. Get the bike all set up tonight and everything so I can work tomorrow till it's time to leave. I think I'm going to talk a little bit about the bike setup, even though it's a common one that we've done before. Then the rest of this video after that will be us out on the road. Filming on a new camera. This is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm not going to take it on the trip, but this is exactly what I wanted it for. Doing stuff down here where the GoPro really looks bad and I don't always feel like setting up the big cameras. Anyways, let's get to it. All right, I got those 3 bikes cleaned up and I picked up a couple things around here. Got more to do later, but I'm going to get into getting my bike packed. I think basically what I'm going to do is get packed up. It's not anything new. We are going to be going with 2 of the Swift Zeitgeist bags, and one in the front, one in the back, frame bag in the center. And again, it's going to be a cool night tomorrow night. Cold for me, for camping. So one of the annoying things about camping, just for a one-nighter, and I think everyone knows it, you still need to bring pretty much all the same stuff. You still need your tent, you still need your sleeping stuff. So it's not like you could pack lighter just because it's one night. I guess you're just bringing less clothes and, food was going to be a situation, that kind of thing. The fact that it's going to be a fairly warm riding evening and then a cold night and morning means I actually have to bring more stuff than I would on a summer bike trip. So all that to say, going to get all this ready. I'm not going to film it. I just want to get done. I'm running out of time. All right, let's take a look at what we have going on here because I'm pretty much packed up except for the clothes, but that's going to be a last minute decision when I'm getting ready to go and I look at all the hourly and all that. In the front, as I mentioned, Zeitgeist. This pretty much has my sleep system in it. And basically the sleeping bag's taking up most of the space in here, but then I've stuffed the tent material around there, the pillow and stuff like that. Over here I have a Brooks saddle cover and my bike lock, stuff I want quick access to. So, this one will probably end up with my credit cards and a wallet and stuff that I need the other access to. In the back here, I have a down jacket. They pack up so nice, and so that's another thing. Instead of bringing an extra sleeping layer, I think that's what I'm going to use if it's too cold when I'm sleeping. I have a towel, I have a camp chair. Camp chairs are necessary for me. I did throw gloves in there already. I'll probably put those somewhere else. But yeah, the frame bag wise, this has my tent poles and my tools. So that's the big deal why I bought this frame bag originally, is because it fit between here. It fit in my frame and it fit my tent poles because this is a backpacking tent, not a more modern bike packing tent that they now finally make. So yeah, tools, pump, stakes for the tent. I usually put my electronics in there before, as I mentioned, heavy stuff. So, you get that in the center. So I'll bring an extra battery so I could charge the Wahoo, so I could charge my cameras, put my camera batteries in there. I don't know yet. I might be throwing a light camera bag over my shoulder. I don't know. We'll see you out on the road though. That's enough of all this nonsense. Here we go. You gotta go back inside, Edmund. I'll see you tomorrow. It's a novel headlight solution, right? Not exactly a beautiful day, a little chillier. I feel like, how have I ridden this bike across Ohio on 6 days tours, and then I'm completely packed full for just an overnighter, but it is having some of the chillier weather stuff. And also I have my camp chair in here because of my back. I can't risk having to sit on the ground. That goes with the cold too, being off the ground when it's cold, sitting around hanging out. So whatever, we'll get there. It's only like a 3.5 hour ride, 40 some miles, I think. It actually turned out to be just about a 50-mile day for me. I met up with Eric, Ben, and Mike at Dirty River Bicycle Works. We met there at 3 o'clock, so we all kind of cut out a little bit of our working early to hit the road so we wouldn't have to ride at night, and it did pay off. We were able to get our tents and everything set up before sunset. So the route was similar to one we ride when we head this way, because we sometimes camp out towards Garrettsville and then some of the state parks out that way. There's 3 we've been out to and even ridden out to Pennsylvania. So it's the Freedom Trail for the first bit. That's what you're seeing right here. We break off before the Freedom Trail actually ends though and head out into the country. Right here we're getting into Kent, and we ride I think probably about through Kent and then about 5 miles farther before we start hitting all the country roads. By the time we got to Kent, it actually started becoming much nicer of a day. As you could see, the sun had really popped out. We stopped not far outside of Kent actually to shed some layers, so this was actually the best weather of the whole trip, the whole weekend. It was really, really nice. I'm recording this on Sunday, and it's the middle of the day, and it's only 40 degrees, so we've kind of plummeted back down. So this alley hadn't been open forever. This is the way we always would cut through Kent, but one of the big mills actually caught on fire a couple years ago, so that was the first time it was open. And I've ridden it in, I think it was 2 years. But yeah, back out onto, this is where the Freedom Trail continues. I guess it's the Portage bike and hike out there. And then as mentioned, off into the country roads. We pass around Lake Rockwell and through some old quarries. It's all really cool. Nothing's like dead flat or straight. So you'll see there's a lot of rip and descents. There's a decent amount of climbing. I think we climbed something like 2,500 feet in that 50 miles. So yeah, decent amount. These are those quarries. I think they're gravel quarries out here. We actually used to go and hang out there during the pandemic on the weekends. Just kind of interesting and pretty out that way. We have a number of routes we've tried to get out this way, and this night we are going with one of the more direct ones with a little detour into Mantua. We detoured into Mantua so we could get some dinner with the timing of that. I have ridden this route enough times that I pretty much almost have it memorized now, but it is a great ride. So Strava is linked below to this route out there. And then you could also look at, some of the parallel country roads that you can also take to get this way. And there are a couple little towns you could detour through, but we find out this way Mantua is the one that has the most going on, and it worked out well for us because it was a couple hours into the ride, so closer to dinner and not too far from the campground. This road had been a gravel road forever. Really liked riding it, and now I think that's probably a giant Amazon warehouse or something. So the last time we rode out this way, it was still gravel, but I knew it wasn't going to be gravel for long. So who knows when that place is open, if it's just going to be like trucks rumbling down it, and we've lost one of our really good cuts. So this is Mantua. There's a really good butcher shop, like deli place here, and then they also own a coffee shop across the street. I was hoping we would make it in time to get to the actual deli, and we did. They make sandwiches there that are so good. Everything's cut fresh, and the veggies are always good on it. They're just real classic style subs. They also have really good pastries, so I grabbed a couple for the morning, so I'd have something for breakfast. The other guys went over and got some drinks. We sat outside, ate our sandwiches, and then hit the road. I think we had 15 miles left when we took off from Mantua. So the destination was Chicagami Park, a place I had never been before. So Joy Machines and Roached Clips were hosting a joint ride, and there was free camping at the group campsite the night before. So we decided to, obviously pack up and head out that way. I think we were the only ones who rode our bikes there. And there must have been, I think there was a limit on 25 people camping out there. So there were other people out camping, and, we got campfire beers and all that stuff. So it was a great evening and everything. So awesome to kind of extend the trip. We really wanted to do that because our original plan for this weekend was to go to PA to Jake's Rocks and do some camping and all that. The weather hasn't been really good out there, so we figured it wasn't a good idea. The camping would be soggy. So yeah. Instead, we headed out this way. This is cool. A lot of these roads that we were getting to the campground on are in the Road Apple Roubaix, which I go and ride every year and make videos out. about, but since we were going in an opposite direction, it was fun because we got to bomb down some of the big road apple hills that I've only ever climbed, the main one including the Alpha Road climb, so it was fun to be able to bomb that. It's kind of interesting with the rally loaded down. I actually feel like really stable bombing hills on that bike. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I've just always noticed that I feel like really comfortable. So probably just a good setup. It always has worked well for me. So it was cool to see all the Joy Machines guys who, they were helping organize it. And then Roached Clips is my buddy Woody, who I've been riding bikes with for years. I don't know, 2014, 2015, and knew him for years before that. So yeah. And then this was the gas station just about a mile down the road from the campsite. Well, it was all uphill from here to the campsite, so I'm starting to get tired at this point. 50 miles, decent amount of climbing, loaded bikes. Haven't ridden the loaded bikes yet this year. When we got there, there were a couple cars, but no one was around, so it turns out that Woody and a couple other guys had gone out to ride, which makes total sense. So we got set up, and then everyone started to show up, got the fire going, and just a fun night of hanging out and chatting. Old friends and a couple new friends I made on this evening. I was photographing with my Canon R8, but I had adapted a vintage Minolta Rockor lens to it, a 58mm f1.4. It's not always easy to nail the focus, but it looks really cool when you do, so I really, really like that combo. Erin met us here in the morning. She brought me a cup of coffee, and she was feeding Edmund while I was gone, which was really nice. So we took off, and there was a gravel path through the park at first. So for the ride, we started at 10 o'clock. They had a 15-mile option and a 30-mile option, and the ride stayed together for the first 15 miles. A couple people, like a little group, rode a little faster, but in general, we kind of did it as a little bit more of a party pace weight up ride for the first 15 miles. Didn't stay completely together, but reasonably together. This day, it was a lot of fun and it was a great route. I actually got 10 new miles out here, even though, like I said, it is an area I've ridden in a number of times. So thought that was really cool. Got to see some new roads. The weather turned out just to be okay. I mean, no complaints, had a great time, but it was just brutally windy. It's a good thing this wasn't all in one direction, because when you turned into the headwind, it was rough. And also a couple times when we were waiting up, it did start to get a little chilly, so it was better to keep moving if it was possible, but that's just how it goes. It was still fun hanging out with everybody and riding bikes, really cool gravel roads, just a great crew. I think they said they had more than 50 people sign up, and it looks like pretty much everyone showed up. So, yeah, great day out. The weather, just like I said, a little unfortunate. Once you get that taste of the nice stuff, it's harder to deal with the cooler stuff, but that's how it goes. I had actually completely intended to ride home with Ben this whole time, all day. Even after this ride, when we were hanging out, they were doing a raffle, and they had hot dogs and some beer, and so everyone's hanging out, and I'm still thinking I'm going to ride home with Ben. And then the wind was just relentless, as mentioned, but it was in the exact direction that we needed to ride home. I don't know, about 10 minutes before Erin was going to leave, 20 minutes, I was like, I'm taking the ride home. I just don't think I could go spend 3 hours in a headwind. So that's what I chose to do. It was the smart decision. My legs were tired from 50 miles of, a loaded ride. And then this ride, I think itself had a couple thousand feet of climbing in it. So yeah, that was enough mileage for me for the weekend. There's Woody right there on the pink wild bike. Roached Clips Woody, one of the organizers. And yeah, so the vibe seemed really good. People really seemed to be enjoying themselves. Everyone I talked to was in good spirits and having a lot of fun. A couple mishaps are, one friend said he brought out some noobs and they didn't quite want to do the whole ride, which didn't seem to be a huge deal. Unfortunately, though, our buddy Rusty, and I still don't know the details, broke his collarbone right towards the end of the ride. I guess he doesn't have to have surgery. I need to text him and find out what happened and how he's doing. But that's a bummer. I have to assume he slipped on a gravel descent, but more information on that soon. So I have to say, these couple days really have me excited for more group rides to come as the weather keeps getting better and there's more of this stuff going on. This ride was posted about in our Discord, as I've mentioned before. That's where we plan any kind of meetups, or if any of us are doing public rides, we post them. You don't have to be in the area. A lot of people have made connections through that to each other. Right up there in the greenish jacket is Drew. We actually met in downtown Akron. We were both getting lunch or dinner at the same place, and I noticed a vintagey bike that was set up for bike packing, and so I'm like, I've got to say something and talk to this guy. So we met, and then we've connected online, and now we finally got the chance to ride together as well, which is just, as always, one of the things that is so great about bikes is making a new friend just because I saw a bike and I wanted to ask about it. So me and Aaron ended up kind of riding in towards the end, just the two of us, and kind of yo-yoing between different groups, and which was totally fine. We didn't, since we didn't hang out on Friday, we got the chance to ride together and catch up on these really pretty gravel roads. So after the ride, it was the little after party. There was a bunch of donations for the raffle, so Joy Machines and Zeppelin, and I think Party Size Cycling. A number of people had donated stuff. I don't have the whole list, so I'm sorry whoever I'm leaving out. But yeah, just hanging out, eating the hot dogs. The group who went back early had gotten the grill going, so there was stuff ready when we showed up. People had brought other snacks. There's a bunch of High Life. So, yep, it was a little chilly. I think people would have hung out a little longer if the weather was nicer, but regardless, I still had a bunch of great conversations. Aaron took me home. We stopped and got some dinner, but it was still an awesome weekend. Like I said, just has me stoked for what's coming. So if you appreciate this kind of content, consider becoming a channel member. It helps out a lot. I do have a little store with some stickers and stuff like that below, and I will see you in the next video.